Hey everybody. Okay, we're going to continue with the holiday sketchbook. This is going to be used for just holidays, and we'll do all the holidays. So if there's one that you have in particular that we may not know about because we're not that smart, send it to Corey and we will research it and we'll do it. I'm an atheist, card carrying. Here's my card. Jewish by culture, atheist by belief. So, oh, I don't know, all the religions are the same to me. But I believe in them for you. But let's have fun, okay? This is my favorite religion and one that I do know a lot about, and it's called, not religion, holiday, not religion. My favorite holiday, and it's called Halloween, okay? So we're going to use this sketchbook, which I'm really enjoying. I'm going to get another one just put on the shelf just because I don't want to be without it. And then we use Pan Pastel. And we're going to use Cretacolor. I like the lead that has a little bit of wax in it, so it's kind of fun. Chamois, which is our best friend for doing gestures. Kneaded eraser, you need it. My old teacher used to call it a kneaded rubber. I'm still laughing at it. I'm 64. I first heard him say it when I was like 14. So I guess if you need a rubber, don't use this one, because what happens is when it stretches, it kind of gets holes in it, okay? So unless you want to have to deal with people who have R after their names and deal with them, don't use this for the rubber. You can text Corey and he'll explain to you which one to use. This is the first video I did, which I did without sound, so I'm not the brightest tack in the tack drawer. Immediately went back in and did this one, which was fun. This is one of my relatives. I am Bornstein. This is Frankenstein. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a vampire. Oh no. The part of forensics that I enjoy the most is blood spatter. So I like it. It's fun and it's interesting and it makes sense to me. So this guy has not had, well, he likes blood. He's green and blue. So he's going to be green and blue because he's what we call DRT, dead right there. And, but in this case, he will have just had some blood. So he'll be a little bit red in the cheeks. How's that? So we'll do that. So we're going to go blue up here. Bam, bam. Lots of energy because he's unlike Frankenstein, which was all straight lines. This guy's going to be very fluid. And then we're going to give him red right across his cheeks, just like that. And then he's going to be wearing a red cape. And that's a gesture. What do you think? Hey, what did I do with my... What did I do with my brush? It's really strange. I was using it the other day. Oh, here it is. My studio is not that big. This is a bench brush. You can use it to clean. Okay? All right, let's have some fun. Here we go. So I'm going to go this way, or 3/4, working off the midline. Okay. We got that. I have some reference, not a lot, just some. Most of it will be made up by myself. His cheeks down here. He just had blood, so he's feeling kind of full. So we use this for our lay-in. And it's fun to use this because you got, you're thinking shapes. We're painting, This would be concept art if we were in a studio. Remember, a lot of the concept artists are basically illustrators. So once they get, the idea or the DNA, then you can be gone. So the best concept artists are people who can draw anything like on the fly. I've worked with them. God, they're amazing. It was incredible. I'm a little curious about people thinking they're going to get out of school and be a concept artist, because the ones I know, Alan Bodner, people like that, they're just, oh my God, they're gods. Um, there was a concept artist. He was the best one in the entire studio. And he came up to me one day and he said, "Hey, Sheldon, I have a question." I said, "Yes, sir." I'm like bowing. And he goes, "I hear you're a pretty good teacher." And I said, "No, sir, I'm not from." And he goes, "No, no, 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 no." He goes, "I've heard some good things." I said, "Okay, well, what's up?" And he goes, "I've been teaching, but I've never had anybody critique me on my teaching." And if you've heard the story again, it's okay to hear it. And he goes, "How about I teach you, and then you critique my teaching?" Let me sharpen this. And I said, that's crazy. What an opportunity. So for the first time, like one of the rare moments, let's get dirty on my other papers. I didn't take a break from Glenn Philippou, but I kind of just focused on this guy and went to his house, and on the weekends, and he taught me. He was tough. His name was Mel Kiefer. I'll never forget him. And I use what he taught me all the time. And he was tough. He was the best. That he taught me. So you're going to go up against people like him. So you want to have an entry level something that you can do while you're doing, your dream, which would be concept art. He told me one day, he goes, "Was that you here last week?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, why didn't you follow what I asked you to do?" So I thought I did. And he goes, "Unless you're going to listen, don't show up." And it's just these life lessons. So many life lessons. I had one in New York. Oh, it was great. So my first homicide conference, and I asked my mentor, the other guy that invited me, we go, "I'm going to have him have his mouth off to the side." Yeah, this guy's evil. I said, "How many suits?" I'm going to a homicide conference. A homicide conference. I don't even know what homicide is. I never heard of it. I never cared. And I'm going to this conference in New York. Everybody there is somebody. And he said, "I just bring one suit." Well, he was wrong. There was only one day they didn't wear suits. So I wanted to give my suit a break. I only brought one suit. So I come downstairs wearing a pair of slacks and a polo shirt, which for LA is like super, like really super dressy, in the studio. And there's the sergeant. He goes, "What's up, Sheldon?" And I said, "Sergeant, I'm from LA and we work in animation, and, we don't really wear suits." He goes, "Okay." So now the detectives are coming down. I'm like, "Hey, Sarge, what's up with Sheldon? I didn't know we had a dress down day." They actually have a name for it, dress down day. And he goes, "Well, Sheldon's from Los Angeles and he doesn't wear suits." And I'm standing there feeling like I'm this big. And then the first truck, bus leaves because we're in a hotel. We have to get to the police academy. We're being trained at the New York State Troopers Police Academy. Unbelievable. And so that bus leaves. There's only 3 buses. And so I'm standing there feeling like an idiot. And next group of detectives come down. These are like really badass detectives. Hey, Sarge, what's up? What's going on with Sheldon? We already knew each other. Everybody knew me. I was the only artist in the whole place. Um, what's up with Sheldon? I didn't know we had a dress down day today. Again, that word. So, well, Sheldon's from Los Angeles, and he's an animator. And in Los Angeles, you just don't wear suits. So they go, oh, so they leave. Got one more bus to go. If I don't get on that bus, I don't get to go to training that day. So the sergeant says to me, Sheldon, who are we? What are we? Who are we? I said, we're people who wear suits. He goes, no, 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 no. What do we do? And I go, we wear suits? No. Sheldon, we are detectives. And what detectives do is they look for things that are different. Life changing. And what's different today? I go, me, because I'm not wearing a suit. He said, bingo. I ran to my room. I don't think my feet even touched the ground. And I was ripping off my clothes before I ever got to my room. I got that suit on. I got just in time. And I learned the lesson. We look for things that are different. And that's what I do with my forensics cases. I look for things that are different. So we get these life lessons. And they change our lives. Luckily enough, I studied with Glenn Vilppu, and if you study with Glenn at the level that I got to, you learn a lot of life lessons. But Mel Kiefer, oh boy, did he teach me. He was amazing. I hope he's doing well out there. And Mel, if you're listening, thank you. I have your voice in my head every day. I guess he has pointed ears. I'm not sure. So I'm using the rhythm charts. I'm using painting. I'm using planes. So I'll be going into the edges. And this is concept. Concept is drawing. What is this outfit looks like? Test, test, test. Yep, working. Okay, so he's got this. The light's going to come down this way. So we have shadows on both sides. Primarily on this side, because this side is 3/4. Okay, so that's the beginning. Okay, we're going to start picking out some lights. You see his entire eyeball. I call this the crazy mom look. You can see the entire eye. When moms come in and they have that look, I usually run. So what we're doing here is we're hitting the planes and the rhythms at the same time. So unlike Frankenstein, this guy's got more rhythms coming around. So, you could take a drawing like this and scan it into Photoshop and continue. You can put it into AI and let it continue, and if you take this, throw it in AI and give it a Laura, you can probably do any style you want. So all this new technology is just new ways of pushing the window. It doesn't change the initial job of doing concept, which is telling the story and coming up with the idea.
So why did I stay and clean up my entire career? The answer is, as much as I loved my career in animation, I love my wife and my kids more. And cleanup stayed employed. You were, I was kind of the second one in. I was never the first one back. So I got to come back, fairly early. And we always stayed late because, there was, cleanup had to, we were always behind schedule, it was a tough department. So I had the most months of employment, and not in the beginning, but towards the end, great people I worked with. When you're working with people like Lorelei Kohler, I mean, it's like you just bow. Every time I saw her, I was just in awe. People like her. So it was never like her, but I got to a point, I was dependable and get my job done. But I was able to stay employed. But on the side, I was doing a lot of illustration work. And when I worked in sales, if I talked to a client, do their printing, I say, hey, do you have any illustration work you need? They go, yeah. So I'd underbid everybody, because it wasn't my primary income. So I would underbid them, take it home, get it done. And, sometimes they pay me cash and throw $500-600 on the bed when I got home at the end of the day. My wife probably thought I was a drug dealer. But, you make money. Design a logo, do an illustration. If it was architectural, do the illustration that, that would be for the development. People charge a lot of money for that stuff. I didn't care. Do it for a quarter of the price. Make a living. So I didn't, even though, I was trained in illustration with some of the best illustrators around, back in my Brandeis days, stayed in cleanup. It's kind of a silly looking vampire. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like Vampire meets the Joker. Okay, so have fun. But this would be concept. Then I could take this and I can convert it into what would be an animatable character. So all this becomes very predictable shapes. Okay, let's do this. Let's take some white gouache. Always keep white gouache close by.
Take a sharp brush. There we go. Oh, lower lip. There you go. He's silly looking. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. Okay, so after some conclusions of reworking the chin and then working around the whole drawing, this will be the finish. So again, we're always, when you rework a drawing, you go in there and you go back to the rhythm chart. It's simple. So we go rhythm, 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 and just, hit, like top, side, square, top, side, square, face, and just constantly be hitting those rhythms. And then things work out. But you have to have a formula, because a lot of times the job you're going to be doing is fixing, other people's drawing. Okay, so that's it. Next one, I'm going to do a good looking, sexy vampire.